Hey guys, Surgeon here with another Cigar Federation review. Today we're going to be reviewing the Protocol from Cubariqueño. If I said that really fast, it's because I can't really pronounce it as well as they can. It's an interesting cigar rolled out of La Zona factory in Nicaragua. This is their debut cigar, so I'm going to pull it out of the cellophane here. It is a Corona Gorda, so it measures 5 5/8 by 46, which is it's a really nice Vitola, actually. I like the smaller ring gauges. I'm pretty excited to light this up and try it. So first I'm going to see if I can pick up anything on the nose. And it's very sweet tobacco, like a freshly fermented tobacco leaf. A little bit of spices there. Some cedar and ooh, kind of a rich honeyed molasses off the foot there. Really interesting. So we'll give that a toast and a light. See where we can take this. Trusty V cutter. Draws about right, which is good. So give that a light. Nice start, sort of a sweet hay, very subdued. We'll give that a retrohale, see what we can pick up on the retro. Definitely slightly, maybe light plus spice and pepper on the retrohale. Also get some cedar there. Interesting first third. Pretty excited to see how this develops. So a couple minutes in now, and the spice is picked up significantly. Getting a lot of spice on the draw. It's lingering at the back of my tongue. Interestingly enough, it's not very pronounced on the retro. It's still a light plus, but it's almost like hot peppers, where you taste it, it doesn't seem that spicy, and then it kind of hits you after the fact. So it's very much lingering between the draws, but it's good. It's not overpowering. You know, it's just enough spice. It's like a medium strength, I would say. And it's just enough spice to sort of leave you without blowing you away. All right, we're about 10 minutes in now, burning really nicely. Starting to get a little bit of citrus, like a grapefruit citrus off the regular draw here. Not a lot of evolution on the retro, still a lot of spice lingering, maybe a touch of cedar, but progressing really well. Really enjoying the first third so far. So we're about just over the 15-minute mark here. The cedar is more pronounced now. I'd say just under medium strength, but it's adding a lot of body and balance. Kind of offsets the spices nicely. Again, you know, I say spicy, but it's not overpowering spice, which is nice because, you know, some cigars can be just a blast of spices and pepper. This is more elegant, more nuanced, and certainly in balance with the rest of the flavors. Proceeding nicely through the first third. Hitting the 20-minute mark now. Some really subtle cocoa coming through. It is being run over a little bit by the cedar and spices, but it is there. You don't really have to dig too far for it. It's just kind of you know, subtle underlayer to the rest of the flavors, but it's good. I mean, it provides a nice counterpoint to both the cedar and the spices. So we're about a half hour in now. The draw sort of starts with the cedar, a little bit of creaminess, a little bit of cocoa, and then finishes really nice with that little zip of spices again. You know, it's on the draw, it's kind of a medium minus. It does tend to linger a little bit and build up to about medium strength between the draws. But so far so good. Again, you know, fantastic burn on this. Well-constructed cigar, really enjoying it. Can't wait to see what is in store for the middle third. So getting to the end of the first third here, the cedar is becoming a little bit more dominant, finding it's pushing out the lingering spice a little bit. So finishing more cedar and definitely lingering with a dry cedar. There is still spices there, but they've fallen quite a bit. Just over a light plus, approaching light now. Again, very balanced, very nuanced, very much enjoying this. If you like your sticks a little bit on the spicier side, but tend to shy away from a full-bodied spice, this is going to be a great pick for you. So far so good. Again, burning really cleanly. Can't wait to see what happens in the middle third. Just starting to get into the middle third here. You know, the profile hasn't changed a lot since the as the first third is winding down. Still a sweet cedar, finishing with kind of a dry cedar, and then just a hint of spices. Very light, very subtle, nuanced. There is a vegetal note in there, almost a sweet clover. It's nice. It's subtle. Kind of accentuates the other flavors there. Doesn't overpower. Doesn't stand out too much, but adds a nice accent to the other flavors that are going on. At the 45-minute mark now, solidly in the middle of the cigar. The spices that I was mentioning was lingering. Has really been replaced by the cedar now. It's sort of a dry cedar. I think at this point my pairing recommendations would be root beer. You know, maybe a light, not spicy bourbon. Rum would be a no-brainer, or a rum cocktail. In fact, if I had a mojito right now, I'd be in my happy place. Any of those would go really well. You're really trying to accent the spices and the cedar that are in the cigar without running it over. So, you know, anything that's sweet but not too sweet and doesn't really have a lot of spices in the flavor itself. So we're just approaching the 1 hour mark here. Again, more evolution on the cedar. Goes from a sweet cedar to more of a bright young cedar, so less of an aged dry cedar. Still getting spices again, but you know, very light, not pronounced as much as the other flavors. Still some vegetal notes on the retrohale, but balanced with the rest of the flavors. One thing to comment on is the amount of smoke production. Solid amount of smoke production, as you can see. Burning really well. The smoke has a good texture to it. One of the things we don't talk necessarily a lot about on reviews is how much mouthfeel the smoke has, and it's something that's very pleasant when you're smoking a cigar. If the smoke is really thick, coats your mouth nicely, it's part of a pleasant smoking experience. So the middle third is kind of winding down at about the 1 hour 20-minute mark. There's a little bit of leather entering the mix at the end of the draw. Lingers and mixes with the cedar, so you get kind of a cedary leather flavor that's lingering between the draws. Very tasty. Again, still burning really well. About to get into the final third here. Give you some notes as we get in there. All right, so we're at the 1.5 hour mark. Nicely into the last third here. The leather is mixing in with a little bit of earthiness in the final third. And the leather I'm finding is overpowering the cedar and the post draw. Still quite balanced. Do wish I had something to pair with this right about now. I think rum would be ideal, or root beer, or any rum cocktail, just because the cedar has a little bit of a drawing mouthfeel to it. So I think you know, beverage would go really well to counteract that. So the last third is burning a little hot. It is switching between leather and cedar, so it's kind of swapping back and forth in the last third. So well into the final third now. Looks like we'll probably finish up about 1 hour and 45-minute mark, which is about right for a Corona Gorda. Very tasty. Again, this is the protocol from Cubariqueño. Appreciate you guys checking out our review. Make sure to go to CigarFederation.com and check out the group review. If you enjoy the review, if you enjoy the content we provide, make sure to subscribe to the Cigar Federation channel on YouTube and like our videos. Thanks very much for tuning in. Appreciate it, guys.